Howdy, folks. Javi Jr. here, your host of That Gentleman Sports, ready for another week of NFL football. We got Jordan on the sticks, and let's get to it. Our first matchup of the week was the Jets versus the Texans in New York, and honestly, they looked in huge trouble after Corley fumbled that ball going into the end zone. I mean, we haven't seen that in a while, but it's always hilarious when it happens, especially to the Jets. But after that, the star receivers decided to take over the game. Davante Adams came out, led them in receiving yards, and scored late touchdowns to pull away from the Texans, while, Garrett Wilson had that insane, probably catch of the year. I mean, what do you think, Jordan? Catch of the year? Probably, to be honest. But other than that, still, on the Texans side, the C.J. Stroud really showed his youth against a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't consistent. He's had a few inconsistent performances this year. No, it was against a good defense in the Jets, but I think the lack of weapons really showed. Tank Dell is really their only option, and it really showed with their he had 126 out of their 191 yards receiving. So, not the kind of balance you want to get from your weapons. Next, I got to talk about the Dolphins, and that's why I'm wearing the raincoat, because it's just nothing but Texans fans and Fins fans tears coming down right now, because it is a bad time to be a Dolphins fan. We lose a game against Buffalo again. We have not beaten Buffalo in Buffalo since 2016. That is ridiculous for any team, let alone a rival. Now, Tua has had the offense playing extremely well. Our offensive line has actually allowed the least amount of pressures in the NFL, which is a huge turnaround from what we've seen, but the defense is not allowing us to win games. I don't know what it is. It's like ever since Dan Marino, we have a quarterback and a defense, we don't have a running game, and it's just vice versa something after that. After the Marino era, we got the good running era with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams and a good defense, but no quarterback. Now we have a quarterback and a great running game, but it seems like our defense can't stop anybody to win a game. So it's just going to keep going with that vicious cycle. We haven't beat them since 2016. Another year in 2024. Josh Allen is playing out of his mind and making plays that honestly it seems nobody else can make except him. And appropriately, they beat the Fins to keep the streak going, and Fins lose again. And it's honestly, for all intents and purposes, it looks like it's all over, guys. But you know me, I'm always going to keep Fins up and keep the delusion going. And to round off the AFC East, we had the Patriots going to Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. And honestly, Drake May looked amazing. He put this team on his back and really kept them in the game. I mean, it was personified by that last play where he ran around for 12 seconds and forced overtime. And at the end of the day, he had a 200-yard passing day matched by almost 100 yards on the ground, which is incredible for any rookie, let alone with the little amount of help he has on this team. And honestly, I'm kind of scared of what the Patriots might look like in the future, because Drake May really looks like a good quarterback. And that defense, they're going to get it right under Gerard Mayo. Now, on the other side, still no Mayo maniac and Will Levis. They had to keep going with Mason Rudolph, and he didn't look great. He rode a good run game and defense to a win, but at the end of the day, we just had an exciting toilet bowl game. And keeping it exciting, we got another overtime thriller with the Rams going to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Now, don't worry, Seattle. You're not going to get overrun by Rams fans. They just don't travel well. But you did lose again, and you're going to keep that home losing streak going to 4 games in a row for a place that used to be considered one of the best home field advantages. That's just not a great look. It has a lot to do with them depending too much on Geno Smith, and you had a great rookie performance, dare I say dominant rookie performance, straight out of the DBU. Safety Cam Kitchens had 2 interceptions, one all the way to the house for a touchdown, and this rebuild is looking like it might go for a playoff run. So from rebuild trade rumors to a playoff run, the Rams look like they're on their way up, and the Seahawks are really struggling to keep it together. So we went from 2 NFL veterans to 2 young guns facing off. Matter of fact, 2 first overall picks in Caleb Williams and the Bears going to Arizona to take on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. And the Cardinals exposed Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams is in extreme danger of going down with Matt Leinart, Mark Sanchez, and Sam Darnold as the next great USC quarterback to come out of there. So, the Bears have won 4 games, which is not bad, but those wins have come against not impressive teams. Their only impressive win coming against the Rams, and that's because they've gone on that recent run. Their teams are a combined 10-24 that they have beat. So not a great record, and the reason being a lot about coaching. When you look at it, they have undisciplined plays almost every week, especially the last 2 weeks. We had the obvious Hail Mary against the Commanders, and then this week we had our running Hail Mary with the NFL record longest NFL touchdown run to end the first half. So, the Cardinals continue to play efficient and fantastic offense behind Kyler Murray and Ben Badopbreak defense, and they end up number 1 in the NFC West right now. Who saw that coming? So from the number 1 overall pick, we go to the number 2 overall pick in Jaden Daniels and the Commanders going to New York to take on Daniel Jones and the Giants. Now, Jaden Daniels continues to play amazing football, showing why the Commanders are lucky that he fell to them at number 2. On the other hand, Daniel Jones continues to struggle. He scored his first touchdown at home in 672 days and finished the first half with a passing touchdown with 0 passing yards. Now, they kept it close, but the score really did not show how much of a dominant performance it was for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. So from one bad NFC East team and the Giants to another, the Cowboys go to Atlanta to take on Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. Now, Dak gets hurt in this game and apparently gets caught on the sidelines saying that he thinks the team effing sucks. Now, this team is completely dysfunctional with star player, Ezekiel Elliott, going down and saying that he's not going to meetings and stuff as a leader of the team. From top to bottom, it just seems general dysfunction everywhere around the team. Now, we here love to see it, but you hate to see it if you're a Dallas fan. At this point, nothing seems to be going right, and you have to wonder, is Mike McCarthy's time done? Kirk Cousins continues to play amazing football, putting up fantastic numbers after really what was a slow start to the season, and this was no different. He put up 3 touchdowns. It really seems like it's a complete team leading the NFC South to go on a playoff run. From one rumor of a firing to a confirmed firing, we have the Saints taking on the Panthers in Carolina. And, the Saints got off to an electric start this year for scoring 44 points a game, winning 2 games in a row, and now they sit behind the worst team in the league in their division, behind the Carolina Panthers after this loss, and it cost Dennis Allen their job, and rightfully so. There's dysfunction from the quarterback to the receivers all over the place. On the other side, Bryce Young matches his touchdown interceptions, 1 TD to 1 interception, and he gets a decent win for his confidence, but at the end of the day, he just rode a good running game to an easy win. From Sean Payton's old team in the Saints to his new team in the Broncos, they go to Baltimore to take on the number 1 offense in the Ravens, and while the rebuild has been looking pretty good, it was pretty hard to believe that they were going to compete with this Ravens offense, and it really showed. Lamar and King Henry continue their competition neck and neck to see who's going to be the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year this year, and they destroyed Sean Payton and the Broncos. So from one blowout to another one, you had the Raiders going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, and Minshew Mania has been dead and over. Let's go ahead and leave that in the past. It was fun while it lasted, but it's horrible to watch now. On the other hand, Joe Burrow is playing lights out and has them looking ready to go on a playoff run, just like we all expected. To round out the AFC North, we had the Browns taking on the Chargers, and this time there was no dub to be had for poor old Jameis. He tried all he could, but it looked a lot more like when he was throwing 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions for Tampa Bay. He throws 3 interceptions in this game against a great hardball defense. The Chargers continue to play fantastic hardball, if you would, and playing great defense with a solid running game. And on top of that, Justin Herbert leads this offense to another win against a solid defense, and he actually gets graded as the number 1 graded QB by PFF this week. And we had good old Doug Peterson going.
Your phone died.
When?
I don't know. I just now realized it.
Yeah, our phone died, and we lost like 5-6 minutes of footage. Then we had poor old Doug Peterson taking his Jags to Philly to take on the team that he brought a championship to. While it was a pretty ugly game and a dominant victory for the Eagles, we have to talk about Saquon Barkley because he had the most insane play I've seen in a long time and something I've never seen on a football field. But he hurdled a guy going backwards. I've never seen something like in flag football anywhere on any football field. That was amazing. He just made a whole new move. I mean, I'm kind of scared of the kids trying it. Now, I mean, just take a look at this. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. What a dog. But, other than that, the Eagles had a very dominant victory, but it didn't show on the scoreboard because they let the Jags back into it at the end of the game. Now, while it is against the Jags, who show a tendency for sticking in games, and we saw that against the Chargers come back and win a playoff game in that fashion, it's just not something you want to see from a team, especially a team continuing to be in the playoffs like the Eagles. And so the Eagles need to clean that up. But other than that, a great victory for them. And on the other side, get Doug Peterson out of there. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, and they're wasting him with that coaching. And then we had probably our matchup of the week, which was the NFC North rivalry of the Lions going to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And the Packers always have a chance in that stadium. Now, the Chiefs may be undefeated, but I think the Lions are the best team in football. You see how they're playing right now. Everybody knows about their defense. Everybody knows about that running game with Sonic and Knuckles. But how about Jared Goff right now? I mean, in the last 6 games, he has 82.8% completion percentage, going along with a 140.1 passer rating, and that is an NFL record over any 6-game stretch in NFL history. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. And on top of the fact that he's using it so efficiently, he has completed the last 30 attempts that he's gone to Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's right, the last 30 times he's targeted him, he's had a completion. So, incredible what he's doing for this offense. And like I said, on the defensive side, we knew what we were going to get, a chippy, heated game, and that really was embodied by that play with Brian Branch. He comes up and absolutely levels a receiver, gets himself, rightfully so, an injection. Now, whether he meant to do it or didn't mean to do it, that we'll never know. We're not in his head. But it was a face mask to face mask hit, and it deserved an ejection. We all love football, right? So, I mean, the bird on top, flipping the bird to all the fans, was just a nice little cream on top for those who love football. I mean, on the other side, Jordan Love, he continues to cost this team with his arm arrogance. I mean, it's through the roof. He just thinks he can make any throw, and it's costing them every single week. And he needs to play smarter if they're going to start to win football games, because after that garbage time TD, it was really just some cushion to make a dominant victory look a little bit better. Keeping it in the AFC North with the Vikings, we got them taking on the Colts. And now, on the Colts side, I saw a lot of outrage online before kickoff about Anthony Richardson not starting this game over Joe Flacco. And yeah, Joe Flacco didn't play well, but there's no way Anthony Richardson was going to play better against this defense. It's one of the best coached defenses in the NFL. Brian Flores is doing a great job down there. I don't like Brian Flores. I'm a Dolphins fan, but he's doing a great job down there with that defense, and it really is one of the best units out there. On the other side, the offense is playing equally effective. Sam Darnold, he does turn the ball over, make some knuckleheaded throws, which he's absolutely known for. But when you have Justin Jefferson to bail him out sometimes, it's, he's looking good, has his offense moving well. They really seem to click in that game, though they did struggle at times to move the ball. But a very strong win for them, and the Colts need to find a way to get this offense moving. Alrighty, folks, and being that Monday is our recording day, we had Oreo waiting all night for me to finish recording so she can go to bed. So we're gonna make her a part of this one. And the last game was the Monday Night Football game. We had the Bucks going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, and Baker Mayfield really put on the best performance he could. He always does. He's always going to give you maximum effort. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough for this Chiefs team. He was really missing his weapons. No Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. And with Mahomes having the best performance of the year, it's just hard to keep up. He kept them in it, forced overtime, but Mahomes found DeAndre Hopkins too many times for a breakout game. Kareem Hunt ends it with a touchdown. The Chiefs stay undefeated. And in the name of the 1972 Dolphins, please lose a game. Just one. Win another Super Bowl. I don't care. Lose a game. Yeah, wasn't worth it.
Bruh. Look at this. That's another episode of That Gentleman Sports, you see. Goodbye from Oreo and the gang here. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down in the section below.
Nobody cares anymore. They look awful. Awful. That was awful, dude. Alright, let's try this again.